The way of beef to our plates. Goulash soup. Serves 4. Cut the onion into small pieces and brown it in 2 to 3 spoons of hot oil. Remove the pot from the hob, powder it with paprika and stir well. Add the chopped beef and toast on strong heat until well browned. Add green pepper, tomatoes and salt. Turn to a moderate heat and let simmer until the meat is almost ready. Meanwhile, cut the carrots and potatoes into pieces. Add 1 to 1.5 litres of water, flavour it with caraway seed, return to a moderate heat and simmer the whole meal under a lid until it's well cooked. Salt to taste. Everyone in the world thinks goulash was originally Hungarian, but there are slight differences to how it's prepared in different countries. The common element is beef. Hungary could be self-sufficient in beef, but it isn't. The cattle bred in Hungary are sold abroad, whilst Hungarians eat cheap imported beef from other countries such as Brazil. Between 1990 and 2010, about 340,000 kilometres squared of rainforest along the Amazon was cut down. This is an area 4 times bigger than Hungary. Although in more recent years the rate of deforestation had decreased, by the end of 2011 it had started to increase again. We may think that the reason for deforestation is logging, but this is not so. In fact, the lands are often used for cattle pasturing. Moreover, sometimes logging possibilities are ignored entirely and the forests are simply fired for the land. The role of forests in maintaining the environmental balance of our Earth is obvious. Trees convert CO2 responsible for climate change into oxygen. Cutting the rainforests near the Amazon is not only raising global climate change, but also causing significant problems locally. By decreasing the natural terrain, several species are disappearing, and the living conditions of Aborigine people living on this land are getting significantly worse. Waters and streams, previously abundant, are now sporadic, and many fish species that used to be food for local people are disappearing. In the bald land of the felled forests, international agricultural companies are cultivating GMO fodder plants, soy and maize, to increase outcomes. Although the real environmental and health effects of GMO fodder plants are not yet known, more companies are doing this due to cheap labour and the lower costs of intensive cultivation. Whilst buying cheap beef in supermarkets rather than from the local butcher, we often don't realise that it's cheaper for these reasons. By the time the 1 kilo of Brazilian beef has arrived on our plate, it will have created more than 40 kilograms of CO2 emission. A significant part of these emissions comes from the transportation itself and the fossil energy source needed for the continuous refrigeration of the beef during transportation. Cattle livestock of Hungary fell to 1/3 in 30 years between 1980 and 2010. Before the 80s, there was a stable livestock with 2 million cattle, but nowadays there are only 700,000. Moreover, a significant amount of natural production goes to Western European markets. With the pastures that were available in the past, it was possible to conserve and to keep biodiversity untouched. However, on abandoned pastures, weeds start to grow and undesirable invasive plants occupy them. Due to the decline in livestock and the changes to the sector, not only are the pastures getting abandoned, but related jobs are disappearing as well. You yourself can do something so that it comes true. Choose local products.